I know you're very broad-chested. Is there any way you can get your broad shoulders into frame?
Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Emilio and this is Let's Roll Characters, the show where my friend Christian and I roll new characters for D&D 5th edition based on different sets of prompts and parameters, ones that we dream up or that come from you, our fellow nerds.
That's right. We are a couple of fledgling DMs who are more or less obsessed with the game, and we thought it would be cool to bring you everyone's favorite part, which is character creation.
Woo. All right, so let's roll characters.
Boom, 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 boom. Characters, gonna roll characters.
All right, Emilio, so normally we would roll for race, class, background, and gender, but today we have a request from one Foster Caffery who wants us to do a gnome tinkerer, which, sort of taking a look at the player's handbook, that means we're going to be doing a rock gnome subrace. But we are going to roll for class, background, and gender. So roll me a d12 for class.
All right, you got it. 7.
Okay, Amelia, we have a rock gnome paladin.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Amelia, roll me a d20 for background.
Okay, here we go. A 14.
Okay, we have a rock gnome paladin sage. Give me a d4 for gender, Emilio.
All right. A 2.
Okay, we have a lady who is a rock gnome paladin sage. Amelia, what are your first thoughts about this gal?
I don't even know what a sage is.
Yeah, I think it's somebody who's sort of like, learning the lore of the multiverse. You scoured manuscripts, studied scrolls, and listened to the greatest experts on subjects that interest you. Your efforts have made you a master in your fields of study. Bookworms, basically.
Yeah. And a paladin bookworm. This is a really interesting one, Christian. It's giving us a lot to work with. A paladin sage feels like someone who's really studied theology. They're committed to their god. They've read all the manuscripts and the histories. But then the fact that they're a gnome and a tinkerer, there's got to be this other side of them that's interested in the physical and in practical matters.
Yeah, I'm going to be really curious about how we're going to bridge that gap between sort of somebody who is a fighter for their chosen deity, but who also is a, researcher, a tinkerer, that sort of thing. How did this person get from point A to point B? I think that's going to be really interesting for us to figure out.
All right. Well, it looks like we've got our work cut out for us to figure this one out, Christian. But now for my favorite part, let's roll ability scores. So Christian and I have a little competition going here. We alternate rolls and keep track of who rolls the highest in each session. And currently the score is 2-1 in my favor. So Christian, let's start with strength.
Okay, but just before we start with strength, I just want to say, when you said that you were beating me 2-1, it hurt my feelings, and then I sort of, really wanted to make a really sour face, and that sour face is...
All right, let's roll this strength score. I'm going to roll 4d6 and drop the lowest. It is a 12.
Okay. 12, that's pretty solid for a paladin. Actually, it's probably extremely solid for some little gnome. So, okay, I'm rolling my 4d6 for dexterity. Okay, we have 6.
Oh my goodness.
Woo! Okay, what do you got for Constitution there, Emilio?
All right, let's try, see if we can do a little better with Constitution.
Shouldn't be hard.
Yeah, definitely not hard with a 15.
This is a very un-gnome-ish gnome. All right, here I go. Intelligence. Let's see how smart they are. Okay, 11. It's, passably intelligent.
Interesting to think about a scholarly gnome, a sage that has a relatively average intelligence score.
Yeah. Hopefully that wisdom gets a little boost.
Let's find out. A measly 10.
Oh boy, so average. Okay, and let's see just how charming our little gnomish friend is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's crazy charming. She is 16 charming. So, what's the score here?
I am at a 37.
6 plus 11, 17 plus 16 is 33. Damn. So that is, are you 3-1? Is that where we're at right now?
3-1, my way.
Ooh, sour face. So, given what we're looking at for ability scores, let's start fleshing this out a bit more and take a look at the class proficiencies. So she's already got proficiencies in Arcana and History, so what kind of paladin-y proficiencies do we want to throw in there?
So strength is one of her better attributes. So something like athletics might make sense. She's going to have to be some sort of fighter if she's a paladin. You know, another one that looks good on this list is religion. I think that makes a ton of sense with her background and her class.
I'm in total agreement. The athletics part for the paladin piece, the religion piece for her sage background. I mean, she's going to be really sort of learned, but she's also going to be pretty strong. So, yeah, who is this person and where has she come from?
She is a holy knight who sticks to the books. It seems like those ideas are at odds, but I could imagine, you know, so paladins are typically part of some kind of order. And so maybe not everyone in the order is all about combat. This paladin was really interested in something specific. I think maybe if we can hone in on what that specific thing is that she likes to study, and is it, you know, her god, is it something related to her tinkering?
So I'm wondering how she kind of became this woman who really wanted to dig into the research, dig into probably some sort of holy text, right? And I like your thought about her sort of searching for something, and maybe she sort of found something in a holy text that led her to kind of decide that she needs to sharpen her body, she needs to hone her body so that she becomes strong and able to serve whatever force or deity is relevant to this thing that she found in the holy text.
Maybe she found a religious text that talks about some kind of holy gadget or holy item it's some kind of puzzle.
So I really like this idea. So, all right, so she was trying to build something which was rumored to be detailed in a holy text. And yeah, the real question is, what is this thing that she wanted to build? What function does it serve for her? Or what would it'd have to be something big to make her really want to sort of essentially turn it into a lifelong quest, right? So
Yeah.
what is she looking for? What is she trying to build here?
So there's a plane in D&D called Mechanus. It's the plane of law. It's usually depicted by a series of gears connected to each other. Each of those gears has like a world or a city on it, and all sorts of different creatures live there.
I wonder if she's trying to build a portal of some kind or a mechanism that can actually transport her there so that she can sort of just immerse herself in the wonders of this very gnomish, inventive plane.
Yes, a portal to Mechanus. That is perfect.
Okay, now we've got her building a portal to Mechanist, and she's going through this holy book to find out the details of building it. So what happens that turns this into her sort of dedicating herself as a physical fighter for a god?
Maybe the god of the gnomes came and spoke to her. I think his name is Garl Glittergold.
I'm sorry, what's the name of the gnomish god?
Garl Glittergold.
Garl Glittergold.
Yeah, I think so.
So she's heard tale of Mechanus, and she sort of her searchings for trying to get to this wondrous world bring her to an ancient tome, maybe, and that tome sort of details a portal to get there, but it requires her to dedicate herself to Garl Glittergold and do his good works in order to track down the pieces?
Yeah, she's got to fight in his name. The pieces that she needs for this portal are amongst Garl's enemies.
Ah, yes.
She's got to go get them from the kobolds or the goblins and bring glory to Garl.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Before we get into the personality traits, we just want to talk a little bit about her language proficiencies. And so she gets 2 for her sage background. And I think the first one we got to go with here is language proficiency in Modron, because that is this prevailing species of robot-like creatures, and that's what they speak is Modron. And so I think that she definitely was learning that language so that she can go there, and maybe even she speaks with Garl in Modron. I don't know, but I think Modron has got to be in there. And then I think that she's a gnome. Their script is Dwarven, even though they speak Gnomish, and so I think just having her be proficient in Dwarvish makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, and then we bop down a little bit because also, as part of her background, we sort of decide what her specialty is as a sage. And there are a number of options here, but the one that really stands out is researcher, because that is what has sort of guided her journey, is research. And so we're going to make her a researcher as well.
So let's make them come alive for role-playing purposes and lay out the personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. So you're up first. What have we determined for personality traits and ideal?
So the first personality trait that we're going to give her is one that I think makes a lot of sense for a very sort of enthusiastic gnome who's really kind of looking to find out the answers to this great quest. And that is, there's nothing I like more than a good mystery. So that's kind of a guiding personality trait for her for sure. And then just because, she's going to be good, she didn't decide to try to become a warlock as a result of this quest. She decided to become a paladin. And so her second personality trait that we're going with here is, I'm used to helping those who aren't as smart as I am, and I patiently explain anything and everything to others. So she's just a really kind person who shares the wealth of the knowledge that she sort of accrues.
Just like how you patiently explain things to me.
Yeah, I'm so patient. And then we have the ideal, and for this, we did think it was a little bit on the nose, but basically we're going for knowledge as the ideal. The path to power and self-improvement is through knowledge, and of course, that is her guiding light as she's moving forward here. What about bond and flaw?
Yeah, so Christian, we've got a couple great options here for our bond and flaw. For the bond, we've chosen, I've been searching my whole life for the answer to a certain question. So this quest that she's been on to connect with Garl Glittergold and to find this portal to Mechanus is related to some question that she has. And for her flaw, we wanted to play with the idea of her being a tinkerer a little more. So we chose, I overlook obvious solutions in favor of complicated ones. She's not willing to just take the simple path forward. If there's a way she can build this up and do more and play around and experiment, she's going to go for it.
Yeah, I feel like maybe she's got, maybe even more than most gnomes, she's got kind of some inattentive things going on here, and really sort of just wants something to just wrap her mind around and just go in multiple paths and find out, crazy solutions that are interesting to her. All right, Emilio, so now we have 2 last things to figure out for our rock gnome paladin sage gal, and that is what her alignment is, as well as what her name is.
I think alignment's going to be easy this time. She's lawful good. She's a paladin. She's in service to the gnome god, who's a lawful god. She's doing work to get to the plane of Mechanus, which is the plane of law. It seems like an easy pick.
Yeah, no brainer. Lawful good. Done.
Name is a little trickier. Gnomes have weird, interesting names, I think.
Well, I was reading up on that, and they might have a dozen names given to them by, friends, family, people in the order maybe for this particular gnome. So I think we could go in 2 directions. One is we could say, here are these formal kind of gnomish names, or we could say these are sort of the nicknames or names that she's picked up along her path that she's kind of just deciding to go with, at least sort of for most anybody who meets her. So I think we actually have a lot of flexibility here, depending on what we want to do.
Oh man, you know what's coming to mind is the name of it was a character in the Broken Earth trilogy, Tonkee.
Is this a transgender woman?
The transgender woman,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The name Tonkee feels really good for this person.
Yes, I love it.
Right?
Yes.
It's such a great gnome name and tinkerer name too.
Oh, I totally agree. I love it. I love any reference to N.K. Jemisin. I love that this is also a trans character, so that's pretty cool. And also somebody who was sort of very interested in kind of machines and mechanisms and that kind of thing. So Tonkee is awesome. Totally on board.
Okay.
What about last name? We could even kind of like use Mechanus in her last name, like Mechanus Seeker or Mechanus something, or like Mechanus Ascendant.
Christian, I like the last name Elevator or something related to elevator. It's like elevation, but it's a mechanical thing, but not in the world of D&D necessarily.
I really like elevator for sure. Now the question is, do we want to have it be something dash elevator or elevator dash something? And what quality do we want that other thing to have? Elevator, journey, elevator, Odessa, meaning like Odyssey, elevator Odessa.
How about just Tonkee Odessa?
Oh, yeah, because it's a journey Odessa. Although elevator was good, but
That can be your middle name.
I like elevator Odessa.
Yeah, Tonkee Elevator Odessa.
Yeah, get that Odessa, get that Odyssey thing going. She's on a journey for sure. Okay, awesome.
Yes. All right, Christian, I think we have it. Tell us about Tonkee Elevator Odessa.
Okay, so Tonkee Elevator Odessa is a rock gnome paladin sage, and she has always dreamed about making her way to Mechanus, this wondrous world of design and law and contraptions. And in attempting to find a way to get to Mechanus, she stumbled upon religious texts that have to do with Garl Glittergold. And she found that the way to get to Mechanus is to dedicate herself to him and to do his good deeds, meaning go smite evil and do all those sorts of things as a way of sort of proving herself to him, maybe, and also to acquire the materials and things needed in order to build a portal to Mechanus. And so this is her quest. This is what she's driven toward. And she's going to go find her way up to Garl.
And we're all going to go with her, Christian. Do we have our character?
Yeah, we do. And now so do all of you. If you click the link below, you can download a PDF to bring Tonkee into your games.
And as always, if you enjoyed Let's Roll Characters, please like and subscribe, and definitely leave us a comment on the type of character that you'd like to see us bring to life in a future episode. As you can see, we are already answering our audience requests.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us.
All right, now go play some D&D.
Boom, 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 boom. Character, gonna roll character.
Are you there? Or you just...
I'm thinking of my next thing to say.
Oh, okay. Just blanked out.